Hello, hello, hello. Well, anybody who's watched my channel will have no doubt seen that I occasionally review mini projectors or cheap projectors. The last one that I did was the LG PH150, I think it was called, and which is a really good 720 HD mini projector that had an external battery, so it could work. It didn't have to all be plugged in, and for the most part, I thought it was really good. Certainly for the price, which was around, I think, around about $250. Anyway, somebody saw it. One of my friends saw it, and they wanted to buy it. And who am I to, They offered me a nice price, and I said okay. So they bought it, and I thought, well, okay, let me look and see what is available. Now, a friend of mine had bought the Anchor Nebula mini projector, which have a version of Android on it, and I was helping them set it up. And so I said to myself, let me look for a mini projector that has Android. And so I looked at a few on Souk.com, and the kind of budget I was looking around was less than 1,000, so less than 250, or less than the price that I paid actually for the LG. And there were a couple. There was one in particular, Tomi or something, which is really good reviews, but by the time I got round to thinking about buying it, this one it had gone. So I was kind of looking at some others that have Android, but I just wasn't sure. One had 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB internal memory, and most of the others were 16 GB and 1 GB of RAM, and all of them I think had the same Android version, which was Android 4.4.2. And then I came across this. This is it's quite difficult to say because it's an unusual name, the Tumetimes, and you will see here somewhere it says Q8. Now, I never heard of it, and it was the first time I'd seen this one, and I'd been looking on Souk a number of times, and so anyway, it didn't give a lot of information, and it was, methinks it was 750 riyals, something like that, and I think it might have been the only one that was available there, because I looked again, I couldn't see it. So anyway, look, I took a risk, spent my money, and luckily for me this time it paid off, because this is actually quite good. Now, for actual specs, I can't really tell you a lot because there is not a lot of information, and I tried to find online. There was some stuff in mostly Chinese, but it comes with 16 GB of internal memory, 1 GB of RAM. It has Android 4.4.2. It says a 5000 mAh battery, so it will work off a battery, and as you can see here, have a HDMI, USB, and headphones, and at the side here is a SIM card, SD card slot, and at the side here you will see the focus ring, and I mean that is basically it. And so when I turned it on, I was pleasantly surprised. Now, I don't know what the resolution is. I'm not sure if it is up to 720, but it's pretty decent. Of course, now when you're doing a review like this on YouTube, it's pretty impossible to kind of give you any idea of. I will turn it on and show you, but it's pretty impossible to give you any idea about how good it looks. But anyway, I took it home, and I played some cartoons on round about, I would say, probably 75-inch for my kids, and I thought it was really good. Then I took it even further, and I went up to about 100, and it was perfectly watchable. You could even watch, I would be happy watching a big football game connected to my Bluetooth speaker, I would be happy watching a football game with that. Of course, the smaller you get, the sharper it was, and I really thought that the brightness. Now, and I'm guessing. I don't think it's as bright as the LG. It might be around about 100 lumens, but it's still pretty good. The colours now, look, it's not a full HD DLP projector. It is a kind of cheap Chinese one. So one's got to manage their expectations. But when I'm thinking about the other, I've had cheaper projectors that were basically crap. But when I was thinking about the Motorola phone that had the mini projector that fitted on the Z series, I think it was, and that resolution I think was 854 times something, and the if I remember, the lumens were less than 50, and I was enjoying watching that. So I just was managing my expectations, and I was just pleasantly surprised with this. I'm going to turn it on, but I just remembered here, it says here it has a Texas Instrument bulb, I think. So easy enough. You can see here on the top is the on button, and you turn it on. Now I'm just going to move my here just to give you an idea. Now again, bear with me. So, right, is it going to go? Right, I know. Okay, so just let me try and get this a wee bit better for you. We'll let it go. Now it's going to go into. I'll let it start up, so you can see that it's Android, obviously. Now it comes with a. It came with a tripod, which is nice, a charger, and a pretty useless remote, similar to these kind of Android TV box remotes. And I found another remote which is slightly better. It's not the best, but I might end up buying a better Air mouse remote. But this one seemed to be okay. Let me just check, something's rattling here. Okie dokie, right, so I'm just going to focus it. Now the focus wheel on this is a wee bit loose, so you just have to fiddle. There you go. Now, of course, you're not having any idea of the the quality of this, but and it's pretty clear. So right now, just looking for my. Did I have batteries for this? Sure. Okay. Yep. Here they are. Right. 1, 2. Sorry, I thought I had batteries in here. Not sure that the. Okay, okie dokie. So let me just remove the dongle here while I'm fiddling around. Right, okie dokie. So it should be working now, he says. Hopefully. Is that the right one? I think these batteries are working. Oh, hold on, sorry about this. Let me just freaking try. Did I put the wrong dongle in? I'm not sure. It's annoying. Right, I'm not sure about these batteries. Let me try some other batteries. Now, the difference between this. Okay, this one has one disadvantage that I have found compared to a lot of the other, even cheaper projectors is that it doesn't have the let me see, keystone the keystone setting that will, so when you're pointing it up, it will automatically show you that the screen flattened the way that you want it. So this one doesn't. So when you're pointing it up the way, it kind of looks like you're, if you can do like this, like that, so keystone correction it doesn't have. But I have, when I'm using this, it's alright for in the house, but when I'm using this for presentations, and I'll get onto that in a minute, I have it on a tripod, so it's fine. Okay, right, this one's getting a light now. So, let me just change the dongle. I think them batteries are done. Sorry. Yeah, that's it now. Okay, so you can see I'm using one of these crappy remotes. I'm not sure what that dongle is for, so there you go there. This goes in the bin because it's done. So you can use the crappy remote or not. So I mean, look, it's pretty simple. It is just like your Android TV box. And let me just see if I can give you a better look at that. I'm trying to get it a bit sharper. Whoa! So you just get used to this. I wish that the wheel was a wee bit more, had it less kind of give in it. But anyway, that's it, pretty sharp like that. And then it's just like your Android TV. You can go into the settings. Advanced, let me see here what the you can use this for Miracast. You can supposedly cast onto this. Now let me get this correct. Now it didn't work with one of my phones, but it worked with another one. So yeah, so it's Android 4.4.2. Yeah, it didn't work with an expensive phone, but it worked with a cheaper one, and I will I didn't try it with the Google Pixel. To be honest with you, most of the time I'm going to be using this is going to be more settings, that's what I wanted. Most of the time I'm going to be using this is for doing presentations, and it is really pretty good. Of course, again, it is not an expensive projector, so you do have to dim the lights, and which is fine. The place doesn't have to be in total darkness. So let's see what space was available. Total space was available is okay. So it came with 8 GB of internal memory, 1 GB of RAM. It does have a SIM card in there. So now the other thing, let me see if so here for going into cast, it was actually pretty decent enough with the, I think it was that Samurai phone that I had that it worked well with. So I didn't try it. You can also connect via anything via the HDMI as well, so your laptop, etc. I didn't try that because I don't really need it. Most of the stuff that I have, I'm just going back here, most of the stuff that I have is I just transfer it onto the SD card. So I'll give you an example of here's the PowerPoint. Now you can download any apps. I signed into my account from Gmail, and you can download any apps that you want. Of course, before I forget, one has to, you can connect this to your Wi-Fi. It does have Wi-Fi. So this was Office, and if I remember, did I have this presentation? It worked. I think I went through it from my files. Right, okay, so let's see, I have some presentations here. Just to show you, choose how to open. No. Okay. Now, as you saw before, it did not open there, and look again. It's like a lot of these kind of cheap things. It is it will crash. But to be honest with you, I didn't notice it being any worse than anything else. So let's see. We can. Okay. Hold on, it's alright. Asking me to. I'll just put on the. Right. You see now I've put on the mouse because you do need that sometime, and then this is the problem with these cheaper remotes. They're not particularly accurate, but anyway it works. So let me just show you here with this thing, and then from the beginning let's start. So there, and I do this now at my job, and I have we just dim the lights, and I probably have round about, I would say 50, probably about the size of my TV, 55-inch, and it is clear. The writing is pretty decent, and I was looking at another projector recently that was a lot brighter, but the actual quality of the when you looked at kind of like the resolution of this more expensive projector at work, I thought the resolution of this one was better. So easy enough to do your kind of presentations on the fly. That's a good thing about having a battery, so you can do your presentations on the fly, which is really what I wanted initially for a mini projector. So this is it's pretty decent. You know, and again you can't really tell from just watching here, but I really do think that it is pretty decent. So I will try and come out of that now. And oh, hold on, what button am I pressing? Make sure I'm pressing the right button. Right, so now I wanted to just go in again and show you hold on, just bear with me a minute. Okay, I want to go just up, so I'm going to use this again along here, and I'm going to get myself a better, I actually have one in the house, a better mouse, but I'm using it really for my, mostly for my Android, my cheaper Android TV box. So here we go. I just want to show you some video here. Yes, just once, and let it play. Now it says it plays, and it says that it plays most files. Now it's been playing MP4s, and AVI, and MKV it played. So I mean, this is obviously a work related video, but this is and it has an onboard speaker which you're not going to rely on. I connect it via the Bluetooth, and it works really well, and that's a perfectly acceptable picture, even when you blow it up to the 55, 75 inch, it's pretty decent. So let me just show you another one. Let's see, I wanted to try and find, is it all MP4s, these ones? Okay, just let me have a wee look here. And, get back onto the mouse. And for me, that is a perfectly acceptable picture, and it is pretty good. And I'm just going to quickly show you on a bigger, so bear with me here. So I'm going to just go around and I'm going to shine this. Sorry. So I'm just going to sharpen this a wee bit. And then I'll turn the light out. And then you can have an idea. That's up against the wall. Now that's probably what, at least height wise, is like 50. It's not width wise, but that's pretty big. And it's not dark in here. My computer is shining on it. So there you can see how it looks. And I know there's kind of bars going through here when you're looking on the video, but that's not on the screen. So I mean, that is more than watchable for educational purposes, which was the reason that I originally bought it. And that was here. So let me take it back. Just put my thing back here. Yeah. And I mean, these videos I downloaded from YouTube with Tumetimes, and they were pretty low resolution. So again, it says that you can play higher resolution stuff there, so that's good. And of course the file quality will make the picture quality that wee bit more sharper, so it's pretty decent all in all. Now maybe let me just do this. Just that's it. Just made it in the. That's my wife sending me some messages here. Okay, so let's see. Let's see this one. It says it's a bit higher quality. I just want to it sharper. Yeah, so I can see that. I know it's difficult to see here.
Chemical methods of microbial control, and while
that's
probably physical methods are
this is a webinar.
Commonly used.
So all of this. Look again. Okay, some animation. Let me see. Now, if you were thinking about this for your kid and your kid's room, then this is more than acceptable for the watching cartoons, watching kids' movies and stuff like that. It is. Look, it is really pretty good. Now, I'm not saying that the colours are totally accurate, but the colours are pretty decent, and kids don't care that much, and after a while, even as adults, after a while it ends up looking fine. So you know, when we were kids, I certainly watched a 12-inch black and white portable that had a terrible picture. And also when I lived in London, I had one of these really small, I think it was like a 6-inch screen TV that I used to watch the football on, and it was black and white, and I didn't mind, so you kind of get used to it. So let's see, and that's the writing on here is very, very sharp, so I'm going to just stop that. And I'm going to just turn it off now. Okay, well, no, I'm not going to turn it off. I wanted to just show you. Of course, now you can download. Let me take it back. You can download your own apps, and I've put on a couple of apps. I think it came with Code, if I remember. Now. Netflix, because it's not connected to the internet. Now Netflix just connects to the internet. Now the first couple of times that I ran it, it crashed, but the last time that I ran it, it worked really well. So again, it is something to consider. Netflix Kids with the new Disney Plus. It's not going to connect because it's not connected to the internet. The new Disney Plus. It's something to, something that you can consider as well. Now it did come in, you can see there, with a lot of Chinese stuff. It did come with a lot of kind of Chinese, I'm still asking me for my password there. So I put VLC on it. I've kept it right out of the light because I don't need to have many programs on there. I mean, I may occasionally watch Netflix. I might put on another app that I'm using, Wavo, which is OSN's app, and which I have a subscription for, which is really good. It's only $4.99 a month. That's WAVO. It gives you some live channels plus video on demand, and for the price, it's really good. I might put that on because when I'm on my own. My wife and kids go on vacation. Sometimes like to watch something in my room, and I'm going to use this. So I'll see. I might do that. But primarily, I'm going to turn it off now. Primarily, this is being used for on-the-fly, portable, educational purposes, and really, it's more than enough. Now battery life, I think was around about 1.5 hours, but I bought this. Where is it? Here we go. It's a external battery, extra battery, and I just plugged that in, and this is 10,000 mAh battery. And there you go, you're even good to go longer. Of course, you can plug it into the mains as well, so you do have that option. It does tend to get a bit hot, but I think all of these small projectors get a bit on the hot side. I think it has a big fan. There's some air here, air intake or outtake in the front and on at the side. So it's fine. Again, when you're looking at that price, this is just something that you deal with. So I connect it to an external speaker. You could at a push use the very tinny sounding internal speaker, but for most other things, if I'm showing videos and stuff like that for educational purposes, then I'm using my Bluetooth speaker, and it sounds pretty good and it connected easy. So it really, I was real surprised. I was lucky that I got the I picked one that is pretty decent actually. So and I haven't seen this on Souk anymore. But there's other ones that are very similar spec, 8 and 16 GB ROMs with 1 and 2 GB of RAM. And I would have preferred 2 GB of RAM. I'm not so bothered about the 8 GB internal memory, but just to kind of keep things ticking along. But I haven't really noticed any problems, so, and certainly not for what I've been using it for, which is basically presentations and some videos. So that's that. That is the Tumetimes, and I want to say Tumetimes Q8 mini projector, and it feels pretty good in the hand. It's a metal finish, and it feels pretty solid and really well built. So I was lucky, and maybe you can search online, you might find it. Okay, so anyway, that's it. Questions, comments, etc. I'm sorry for the slightly shaky parts in the video, but anyway, that's when you have very low production values that I aspire to, that's how it works. Any questions, etc., I'll do my best to answer them. Bye.